503 subscribers and almost 100,000 views. Thank you, I guess? I'm not really good at this sort of thing. I always feel very humbled by the fact that anybody would bother to watch my videos at all. So I'm gonna save you the, "Oh, thank you very much, I'd like to thank my mother and my father for bringing me into this world, and I'd like to thank the Discovery Channel." I'm gonna save you that rubbish, okay? What I am gonna do is create a video I've wanted to make for some time. Basically, if you saw my Blade Kitten glitch video, you'll probably understand that I really like breaking things, and I really like glitches, especially glitches that allow you to break out of bounds. So, to celebrate 503 subscribers, thank you very much, I am going to create this short commentary on the exploring of games. Specifically, in this starting one, I'm sure I'll carry this idea on because it's a lot of fun to do. In this starting episode of Exploring, we are going to go exploring in Dead Rising 2 Case Zero. Now I know what you're thinking. Exploring? What, you mean just like running around the environment, having a look at things? Yeah, I didn't have that kind of exploring in mind. I was thinking more exploring where you're not supposed to go.
Ooh. I regret nothing.
Now, I have known about this glitch a couple of weeks after the game came out, because I was all over Dead Rising 2 Case Zero when it came out. I don't think I discovered it. I think I was shown this glitch, or I found it on a YouTube search. But anyway, this glitch is pretty awesome. You can do it in the safe house. What you need to do is have the door to the sort of shed that allows you to leave the area. You've got to have that door facing outwards. Then you jump on these two barrels here. And you jump and hold jump, so you get a nice high jump arc, jump towards the door, clip on top of it, then immediately jump again and push up. That's towards the shed itself. And if you're successful, Chuck will grab the top of the shed and you're good to go. You are now on top of an area you're not supposed to go. Big whiff. You're on top of a shed. So what? What comes next? Well, what comes next is that you can now move on to the sort of connecting shed where the save point is, and then drop down into the desert. The desert that's completely blocked off that you can't normally get to. And I tell you, for an area you're not supposed to get to, this is pretty expansive. What doesn't make sense is why so much of it is solid. Specifically, why so much of it can be interacted with. Now sure, it's a lifeless desert, and apart from the 2 or 3 zombies next to the safe house, there aren't any that actually spawn out here in the desert. But still, there are, you know, big mountains that have a somewhat accurate collision model, so you can actually walk up some of these. Because the game still thinks you're in a safe house, because the glitch is activated at the safe house, you can't use or carry any weapons with you, or even anything besides really healing items. Because I felt Chuck was too slow and I couldn't bring an item to speed him up, I combined 2 lots of milk in a blender to create quick step juice, which then I could use to travel quickly around the desert area. If you're going to do this glitch and you're going to use this method to get out here, I would recommend carrying some quick step with you because there's quite a lot of desert to explore. And you're going to need to get around it quickly. But there's also another method of getting out of bounds, and this one can be done in an area where you are allowed to use weapons. Basically, you can get out of bounds if you take the ladder up from the safe house. Now this trick can only be done once you've saved Dick and unlocked the pawn shop. Why? Well, because this area of the roof is blocked off until you've saved him. I don't know why, it's just like a game design feature. Maybe it's to stop you going out this way earlier in the game. That's probably the most obvious reason. But basically you need to get onto this roof and follow it all the way around until the air conditioner. Then jump and immediately turn so that you jump around the air conditioner and grab onto the ledge. It is incredibly difficult to do. I only managed it once. Follow the roof to the bush, turn the camera so the bush sort of goes invisible so you can now see the fence, and you can just aim and jump just straight over the fence. And if you go this way, you now have access to items. So I was running around with a moose head on for good fun. However, unfortunately, the bounding areas are still present. I really wish these bounding areas weren't there, specifically the ones for the tunnel and the road out of the desert, because I would have loved to have been able to trigger the "you've completed Case 0 message without even having gotten Katie her first dose of Zombrex. I really wanted to find a way to achieve this, and unfortunately, there is no way. The boundaries that block off the road are really high. You just can't jump over them. Maybe someone will find a way to get into that tunnel, but if you walk up the side of the tunnel, you'll find that it's completely blocked off right till the end, and as soon as it's not blocked off, if you walk onto that sand, you fall through it. You can go either left or right. Right, all the way around to the tunnel, which is about the furthest you can go, or left. And left you can only really go about as far as behind the sheriff's station, and then the ground there is impossible to traverse, you just fall straight through. But basically, if you fall through the ground anywhere in that area, you will be flung back into Still Creek. And you can watch the buildings pop up, it looks pretty cool. But you'll be flung back into Still Creek, and from there, you can access the door that leads into Still Creek. It's kind of funny that you'll be opening the door from one side and coming out the same side, but at the same time, it's the only way to get back into bounds. Of course, because you're not meant to be out in this area of the desert, not everything is complete. For example, some of these rocks are missing their backward-facing faces, and these trees are floating. But of course, you wouldn't notice that unless you were actually out here, where you're not supposed to be. This happens in loads of open world games, from Grand Theft Auto to Fallout. There's a couple of examples of games I'll be doing in the future if this takes off as a feature. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet and you've been watching this feature and you've gone like, hell yeah, I'll subscribe if he does more of these, then I'll do more of these. Please subscribe. Everybody's awesome. You know what? Everybody who subscribed is awesome. Everybody who likes my videos, watches my videos is awesome. That's all I can really say. I really appreciate you taking the time out to click one button, which really isn't any effort at all. So actually, like, yeah, well done, I guess. I'm kidding, of course. I do really appreciate it. Or do I? Yeah. Let's just call an end to this before it's super long. Thank you for watching Exploring Case 0. And I'll see you next time.